In the headlines, High Court Judge Victoria Charles Clark demands answers from senior police officers for their absence from High Court on Thursday. Steady progress on a $1 million housing project at Silver Lake, and State College students embark on a regional debating competition. I am Kenny Williams with the Channel 5 News. Back with the details after this. First up, protest action by local employees of West Indies Oil Company was short-lived on Thursday after management agreed to implement retroactive pay increases.
The matter had been lingering for the past 2 months. Employees and the Waterfront and Allied Workers Union are also looking forward to management signing a previously negotiated collective bargaining agreement. Workers staged a silent protest on Thursday for about 4.5 hours at the company's Kinfield terminal. The action negatively affected the delivery of petroleum products from an oil tanker docked at Rockaway, and motorists were left unable to fill their tanks. The union explained that it had also taken issue with the inclusion of an article in the agreement that was not previously discussed.
The central issue is the implementation of the agreement that we have in fact negotiated. There are other conditions. The agreement could not have been signed because of an inclusion of a particular article that the resident manager have placed in the agreement that I told him I am not going to sign, since it was not subject to discussion and negotiations, not only with me, but with my team. So you cannot put something in an agreement that was never the subject of discussion. I refuse to sign on that basis.
So essentially, how long has the document, the agreement, if you will, been waiting for signatures by all parties involved?
It is going on 2 months.
When contacted by Channel 5 News, Chief Executive Officer of West Indies Oil Company, Gregory Georges, said, and I quote, "All I can say now is that the matter is resolved and the employees are back at work."
In other news, a debating team from Dominica State College is vying to be the first ever champions of a competition among community colleges in the Windward Islands. They left the island on Thursday for St. Lucia with the coach and advisor of the DSC's Literary and Debating Society, Trudy Christian. The debate topics are regional governments should continue to invest in LIAT, seeking reparations from former colonial masters who will not benefit the Caribbean region in the long run, and economic citizenship programs are the best route to economic prosperity for small island developing states. Christian says the team will know their position when they arrive in St. Lucia Thursday night.
Everybody was given the topics and we had to prepare for all eventualities, both proposing and opposing. And when we get to St. Lucia this evening, there will be a dip-in process where we will then find out what side of the issue we will debate on Friday. It is extremely exciting for us because we have looked forward to bringing our debating skills. Well, the students have been looking forward to bringing their debating skills to a regional front for a long time. We always have our national debates, our school debates, but this is the first time that they'll be going out as a team to a regional competition. So we're looking to match our skills to those of the other islands. So St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenada and Dominica will take part in this competition. It's a 2-day competition, so we will be debating on both Friday and hopefully on Saturday if we make it to the final round of the competition.
The aim of the competition, according to the Ministry of Education, is to reinforce the multidisciplinary approach which is needed to assess the needs of Caribbean societies and nurture critical thinkers who will help shape the democratic societies of the Caribbean region.
The intention eventually is to have a Windward versus Leeward Island debate. The Leeward Islands have been taking part in their own debating competition for 45 years now. So there is a Leeward Island debating competition that is well established, and the Windward Islands are now coming on board with their debating competition. So the intention is that one day the Leewards and the Windwards will match up against each other.
The debaters are Almari Luis, Inoela Vital, Daniel Pantier, and Mariage Emmanuel. The Windward Island debating competition will be held under the patronage of Her Excellency Governor General Dame Parlette Louisy. It also has the support of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the Caribbean Center for Development Administration, and the Caribbean Examinations Council. More news now. The carnival season is officially over, but the debate over the percentage of local music played on the streets during the parades lingers on. Many are of the view that not enough calypso is played during the street jump-up, while others support the inclusion of non-local music on the road. As regards the level of calypso on the streets for Mass Dominic 2017, President of the Dominica Calypso Association, Derek St. Rose, laments the limited airplay given to calypsos during the Monday and Tuesday jump-up and says this problem has gotten worse over the years.
We are kind of disappointed because there were so many good calypsos through the year for the season, and no calypsos were played, or if they were played, very minimal, So I am disappointed. Even the fans, calypso fans, are very disappointed as well, and I don't know what's the reason for that. And I think looking at the way forward, we have to probably come up with a plan as to how we address that situation, because it's really getting serious. The artists need to be heard, their songs need to be promoted, and that wasn't the case this year.
On the question of providing bands that play solely calypso during the street parades, St. Rose says this may come about sooner rather than later.
That is something I made mention today to one of my colleagues. Looking at the way forward, we might have to do something, maybe to have a truck and have calypsonians come on that truck with their playbacks, and probably might be a very good thing, because the general public want to see the calypsonians one-on-one, close up. So it might be an opportunity for them to promote themselves, get the people to know who they are, and so on, just have a good time on the road, because a lot of people are craving for calypsos, and we had some beautiful calypsos this year.
Meantime, DFC consultant Val Coffey is challenging Dominicans to broaden their horizon when it comes to the music played on the streets for Carnival Monday and Tuesday. The recently wrapped up Carnival celebrations saw a lot of music from other Caribbean countries being played on the Carnival route. Coffey says Dominica's Carnival caters not just to locals, but to those visiting, and as such must appeal to all revelers.
The Carnival is an all-inclusive Carnival product. It doesn't belong only to us. We invite the world, the Caribbean and the world, to Dominica. People who come here not only want to listen to our calypso or buyo, they want to hear some soca music. They want to hear the other forms of music as well. The same thing is happening in other carnivals. It is not the fault of Trinidad, Antigua, Barbados that we have not marketed ourselves properly to have our music being played on their roads. We have to do a better job. The DFC has to do a better job. The Division of Culture has to do a better job. The government of Dominica has to do a better job. And we all have to come together. So I see no problem in soca music and buyo music and calypso music and whatever other calypsos that have to be played, being played on the road.
Coffey stressed the need for Dominica to better market its music for greater airplay during Carnival celebrations in other countries.
If you go to Trinidad, yes, you're not going to hear, probably might not hear buyo, but I have heard Balance Batty on the road in Trinidad. I've heard WCK songs other places as well. But we have to market ourselves as a brand, and we are not doing that, but we're just complaining every year. And that is a problem that it is now creeping into the music industry. And I fear that if the music industry becomes infected with that sort of attitude, it will see the crumbling like we have seen in healthcare, as we see in agriculture, as we see in tourism. And we cannot let the musical industry be infected with that sort of negativity. Let us work together. Let us not stop trying to create divisions with other countries about why your music playing in our country and your music are playing in your country. Let us do our work to get our music across the waters, and that is what we have to do.
Director of Tourism Colin Piper says increased communication is key in having a successful Mass Dominic for Reunion Year 2018. Piper says if communication between organizers and patrons were improved, it would make for a more successful Carnival product.
2018 is going to be a big year for us because it's the reunion year, and so we have to make sure that we put certain things in place. I think the challenge that we're having to a certain extent is that we do plan certain things, and the implementation, the execution falls short, not necessarily through any fault of ours, but just because, as I mentioned, we're relying on people in this festive period. And we're relying on the senseis to come out, and one thing may lead to another, and if they're late or they don't show up, then our overall product is materially impacted. In certain instances, we've tried certain things which have worked. In other instances, some of them haven't worked. And we just need to continue to tweak.
As the country gears up for reunion year next year, the age-old concern of lulls in the parades once again comes to mind. However, Piper says the organizing body will continue to work on ways to address this problem.
I think what's important is to communicate clearly to the patrons. So if it is that it is decided, look, after Juve we're coming out with t-shirt bands, and or we're coming out at a particular time for a parade, that needs to be communicated to the public, so that that expectation is set. So if people are coming into town, they know, hey, listen, if I don't make it in by 8 o'clock to see the last 2 hours of Juve, then don't come until 2 o'clock when the next activity is supposed to happen. Because if they come at 10 and they miss Juve and then they're waiting for 4 hours until something happens, they're going to be very frustrated. And then realistically putting a program together with dependable actors, in the sense that you know that X, Y, and Z is going to show up at a particular time and you're scheduled to go out at that time.
On the inclusion of the Dame Eugenia Charles Boulevard in future Carnival celebrations, Piper says a post-mortem and in-depth discussion will determine whether this route will be used in the future. You are watching Channel 5 News, sex education and STIs, that and more coming up. Thanks for staying with us. The criminal section of the High Court was adjourned on Thursday after a no-show by police officers.
Court got underway with all lawyers and others present, but there was a visible absence of police officers. It is protocol to have police officers at court to provide security and other duties. High Court Judge Victoria Charles Clark summoned Police Chief Daniel Carbon and his deputy to court to answer why no police officers were present at the High Court on Thursday. The judge was not amused, saying the court was not properly constituted and it was disrespectful. She said, and I quote, "I find it disrespectful that not one officer is present and no superior officer is present to apologize." The judge said she cannot wait for the court to proceed and she wants to send a strong message that she can cite the police chief and others for contempt. She summoned Police Chief Carbon or his deputy to report to the court to answer to the matter. The court has been adjourned to Friday, March 3 at 9 a.m.
The foundation of the latest low-income housing complex at Silver Lake has been laid and the $1 million project is progressing steadily. Construction of Phase 3 of the Silver Lake apartment complex was launched on January 31 and construction began 3 days later on February 3. It follows the Boxing Day 2016 fire that totally destroyed homes in the community.
We started actual construction on the 3rd of February. And so far we have completed all excavation, we have finished our block work, and we are about to do the backfilling, which we hope to cast the flooring on the 4th of March, which will be on course to finish within the time, if everything stays the same way, in the next 6 months.
7 of the 12 people employed on the project are from the community of Silver Lake.
We have 12 apartments. The building is roughly about 6,000 square feet, and each apartment has its own bathroom, toilet. We have 6 single apartments and 6 doubles, and is a 3-story building.
An expectation that people's actions during the carnival season do not put them at risk of becoming infected with an STI. The National HIV/AIDS Response Unit held an aggressive outreach campaign during the carnival season, and the unit's coordinator hopes that people practiced safer sex.
In terms of Carnival 2017, from my office standpoint, National HIV/AIDS Response Program, we were able to be present at a number of the activities. We supported 4 bands, so we were able to provide them with condoms to put in their packages that they gave to the patrons of their bands. So we really hope that they had a safe Carnival in terms of their sexual behaviors.
I also noticed that you went into communities.
Yeah, and we were able to collaborate with a number of organizations because we didn't just do it on our own. Gender Bureau invited us on their Blow the Horn campaign, although it was a campaign geared towards violence against women and children. However, we were able to link in the risky behaviors associated with sexual activity with that. And we went to a few other communities. We were in Salisbury. We had a very interactive community session there, and that was really effective. So yes, and it's something that we usually do around this time. We've been in the schools also.
Meantime, even as the majority of people still treat sex education as taboo, sex educators are encouraged by the response of the youth. Social worker attached to the HIV/AIDS unit, Lester Guy, has observed that people tend to be offended when they share condoms to the public as part of their outreach.
We're hoping by 2030 it will be 80-20, because in terms of persons saying, oh yes, I know because of information that you have given to us or because what you have provided for us in terms of commodities that we are using it. Right now it's still 50-50. I mean, even when you go out in the street, a lot of people do take condoms from us, but they are still fine with a society like ours where sex still remains a taboo to an extent. Person are saying, okay, why are you giving that out? Are you sending me to have sex? Well, I cannot send you to have sex, obviously, Nesta. You're the one who decides if you want to have sex or not. But if I'm providing stuff for you that's telling you that if you're going to have sex, you need to protect yourself, then I'm expecting you to an extent to respond to me in a positive way.
Guy says the motive is not to push people to be sexually active.
We still find part of our population are still a little cynical when it comes to dealing with distribution of condoms. But it's what we do, what we'll continue to do, is what we've been doing in the past. And I think it has had its positive effect. I must say, especially our young persons have been very adherent to the information that we are giving. So you find a lot of young persons come to get condoms, you find a lot of young persons come to get tested, you find a lot of young persons take the condoms when they meet them in the street because they are sexually active.
That's news. Up next, your sports highlights. First up in sports, the McHale team enjoyed an 80-run victory over the Jeremiah team as preparations for the Windward Islands Under-15 cricket tournament continued at Windsor Park on Thursday. Resuming on 98 for 5, the Jeremiah team was bowled out for 107. Final scores from that match: McHale team 187 for 9, Jeremiah team 107 all out. Meantime, in another match, Team McHale Revere scored 40 without loss against the Jed Joseph team. McHale Revere scored an unbeaten 29, while Jeremiah Joseph supported with 5 not out. Preparations for the Windward Islands Under-15 cricket tournament will continue at Windsor Park on Saturday from 9:30 in the morning. Meantime, West Indies coach Stuart Law has his eyes set on his team's direct qualification for the 2019 World Cup. Currently ranked number 9 by the International Cricket Council, West Indies need to improve their position by at least 1 spot before September 30. The top 8 ODI sides, including hosts England, on the cut-off date gain automatic entry, while the bottom 4 will have to go through rigors of qualifying competition, where 10 contenders will fight for 2 spots. West Indies' quest begins with the first of 3 ODIs at home against England on March 3. Then they will take on Pakistan, who is ranked number 8 in April, over 3 matches, with hopes of ending in the top 8. West Indies also have the cushion of 5 more 50-over matches against England in the UK before September 30. While winning as much as possible would be the priority of any international cricket team, Law knows it is especially important for his. The Windies cricket coach remains confident about the men under his charge and says at this stage he will focus on learning the different cultures from the various islands in order to get the best out of them. Becoming number 1 in the world at this stage is not his focus, but rather building a culture and work ethic in the dressing room that will pave the way for upward mobility moving forward. In football, we can tell you that 4 matches are scheduled this week in the Dominica Football Association's Division 1 League after the Carnival break. Gerald George is Public Relations Officer at the DFA.
On Friday, Digicel Newton Juvenile Academy Harlem United will come up against Club Loubier at the Newton playing field. Both matches begin at 6 p.m. On Saturday, Police Sports Club will battle Malta Carib Baffin State Football Club at 4 p.m. at the Pori playing field. While at the Newtown playing field, it will be Mao Soka Strikers versus RC Doctors at 5 p.m. And on Sunday, All Saints will come up against Club Lubia at the Pori playing field at 4 p.m.
That's all the sporting highlights for now. Join us next time. We now join our friends at the Met Office for the weather report.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am Janet Macpherson. A high-pressure system was the dominant feature today. Infrared satellite imagery showed a few low-level clouds moving across the eastern Caribbean. Visible satellite imagery showed partly cloudy to cloudy skies across Dominica. Radar imagery indicated limited shower activity across the island chain today. The weather for tonight, fair to partly cloudy and breezy with a few brief scattered showers. Tomorrow, cloudy with some scattered showers at first, becoming fair to partly cloudy with a few brief scattered showers. Breezy conditions will be maintained. Seas tomorrow, moderate in open water, waves of 2 to 2.5 meters or 7 to 8 feet. A small craft warning is in effect for above normal seas and brisk winds. Therefore, all users of the sea are advised to exercise caution. Looking ahead for the next 3 days, expect partly cloudy skies with a few scattered showers and breezy conditions throughout the 3-day period. Throughout the Caribbean tomorrow, partly cloudy skies and some scattered showers are expected. On the international CITES forecast, partly cloudy conditions expected in New York. Partly cloudy skies and some showers are expected in Miami, while cloudy conditions with rain expected in London and Caracas, and clear skies are expected in Beijing. The sun will rise tomorrow at 6:21 a.m. and set at 6:14 p.m. For up-to-date weather information, please visit our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Thank you for viewing and have a good night.
To end the news, the headlines again. High Court Judge Victoria Charles Clark demands answers from senior police officers for their absence from High Court on Thursday. Steady progress on a $1 million housing project at Silver Lake, and State College students embark on regional debating competition. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Kenny Williams. To our viewers around the world, we thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.